There we go.
Woo!
As you can see, you can ask any of my former coaches that are in the room. I had to do technology because I like to be difficult. So, you can ask any of them and they know that that might be the case. I'm truly, truly honored to be part of this induction class. I've been connected to several of them, but I never knew about Dolph here, and I feel like somehow we are connected. Our stories seem so similar somehow. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I especially like to thank my family and my friends, and some of my athletes are here, and my old coaches are here, and it's just really, really special. And I really want to thank the committee that did this. This is a really fantastic event. I honestly, having grown up in Leadville and having been made fun of by the Boulder kids and the Steamboat kids, I wasn't sure what to expect tonight. We never were very formal, and this is really great, and I really, really appreciate this. And I especially appreciate Carlos because I said, Carlos, I want to make a video. And he's like, okay, that's great. How are we going to do that? And he figured it all out, and I really appreciate that. The reason I made a video, and I actually shouldn't say I made the video, my mother has spent like hours and hours and hours and hours going through boxes that we haven't looked at for 20 years that were just like stacked in a closet somewhere. May should have disappeared, but didn't. So that was turned out kind of cool, I guess. And so she did all that. I really like to thank her. I just really, it's been a long journey, and I've really enjoyed it. And so I just want to say a little bit. I recently heard an English professor speak, and he's talking about each person's life. He's talking about students, really, but he's talking about each person's life as an epic journey, okay? And that each student, or that a teacher or coach, or this can even just be somebody you work with, is sorry, I lost that spot. Is a great hero in an adventure like the Odyssey or Beowulf or maybe Harry Potter. And that an educator or a coach, they come into these great adventures briefly, but their role is essential to the success of the adventure. They provide key information, training, a vital piece of equipment, or maybe even just a ride across the river. The ultimate success of the journey depends upon these small stepping stones, and without even one, the jump might be too far. Without Merlin, young Arthur may never have been king, and without Lupin, Harry would have never been able to create the Patronus and would have lost his soul to the Dementors. Without the miraculous spells, special potions, magical swords, and the ride across the river from my coaches, teachers, friends, my athletes, and my family, I would not be standing here today. So I'm going to just briefly share with you some of the pieces that have helped me on my journey, and the people that have given them to me. Sorry. My parents gave me love of the outdoors, much like Dolph's parents. And also, they taught me the importance of being active and staying active my whole life. And also, they taught me that no matter how miserable it is to be kayaking in 30-degree weather in the rain, if you think of it as a workout, it's better. From my sister, I learned to always stop and listen to the birds, even if it's in the middle of a race. and that laughter really, truly does feed your soul. From my Uncle Toast, who was my first coach, he had me running hurdles when I was about this big. He didn't know that I was not going to grow up to be much bigger than that. And from him I learned that even with short, stubby legs like I have, you can learn to hurdle and actually do very well in that event. So I always appreciated that. From Coach Minson, I learned what it truly means to work hard and what it takes to be a winner. Very valuable lessons, and I know he'll appreciate that because he always liked it when I worked hard. He also tested me with the evils known as OFIs, or opportunities for improvement. I was always running these things. They were extra intervals, so probably a big chunk of my success is owed to the OFIs. Through Quinny's love of skiing, he nurtured and cultivated my own love for the sport, providing me with one of the most important talismans in my own personal journey. He also provided lots of other really great life lessons, like if you want to soar with eagles, you can't be hooting with the owls. and also, if you should, when you're an athlete, you should be on a seafood diet. You seafood, you eat it. From Coach Hanks, I learned the importance of rewarding hard effort. There's nothing better after a really hard workout that's short and sweet, as he used to call them, than oranges or watermelon. I also learned the importance of allowing athletes to learn by disagreeing with him. I didn't understand this as an athlete. I just thought he was being ornery. But as a coach, I've learned how difficult it was for him to allow that kind of feedback to come back and just let you learn through that. It's very important. From Carla Stiegel, who was my friend and mentor, I would say, even though she was younger than me, I learned how to be a gracious winner and a great friend, and the importance of being part of a team. From Coach Gordon, my college coach, I learned the confidence to take on the Norwegians from the other team. All of the skiing, and when I was in college, was heavily dominated by Norwegians and Swedes. So he gave me the confidence to take on the Norwegians. He also taught me how not to wax. And all the words to George Thorogood and the Destroyer song, Bad to the Bones. That was important. From Per Hinning, another one of my college coaches, I learned to ski like a hooker. Which really paid off because it took me to my first All-American finish. When I thought it was really cool to wear a headband outside in sub-zero weathers, I learned from Esbjorn that an empty barn needs no roof. From Kat and Åsa, I learned all about ski culture. They were Swedes. I learned all the Swedish words to Roxette songs, and I learned how to knit. Actually, I learned how to knit from my mother, but I relearned how to knit from the Swedes. From Björn Olaf, I learned the importance of Harry's, which probably doesn't mean a whole lot to a lot of people, but it's a special way of waxing your skis, and it was very important, turns out, and we've actually used it as coaches. And also, sorry about that. I learned the importance of Harry's, and that ultimately, it's really all about fun. It really has to be all about fun. From my Russian biathlon coach, Algis, who didn't speak English when I first started working with him, very, very little English, I learned how to shoot. And that this is the gold medal. I also learned, as I would sit in prone position for hours, felt like hours, probably like minutes, I learned that this pain, he would say, it's not good, but it's normal. When I turned to coaching, and I coached the first sprint girls in track, I learned that if you worked as a team, you could move mountains, otherwise known as Monta Vista's women's track team. And if I told them that they couldn't possibly finish 400s, they would kill themselves to do 7. That was a good lesson for me as a coach. On my own, I learned that it is possible to train too much and too hard and kill the joy of racing. From Rachel, I relearned the joy of racing. From 13 years of coaching, I learned that my coaches were all saints. I can never thank them enough for the endless hours, the support, the hard work, the frustration, and devotion, the spells, the talismans, the swords they gave me throughout the years. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all. From my athletes, some of whom are here tonight supporting me, every year I learn again how to work hard, that teamwork can move mountains, that athletics is and should always be about fun, and every year, over and over, I learn the pure love of skiing. Thank you all for being part of my epic journey.
Yeah, they're true.
You see behind him like...
You know what?